All right, looks like we are live. If you are watching this live, please tell me that you can hear me. As is unfortunately often enough the case, I run into issues. Rumble Studio that I normally use for streaming went completely tits up on me, which is annoying as hell. So I've got a couple of guests who were waiting for me. I had to send them a new link. Hopefully they'll join momentarily. And if you guys can hear me, see me, please let me know. I have to do, unfortunately, a little bit of housekeeping. The reason I use Rumble Studio, well, among other things, is that it allows me to stream to my locals community, while StreamYard and other channels do not. So I have to do a couple of quick things to set this up. I apologize about the delay. My original plan was to start about half hour ago. So let's see. I'm just leaving a comment on locals for people to come to the YouTube link. If anybody is on this live, can you guys tell me if you can hear me? Mr. Mashur from Kazakhstan is here and says salam alaikum. Alaikum assalam. So, all right, so Kazakhstan is here. That's good. Anybody else? Oh, bloody hell. Hate the technical difficulties. Let's see. There we go. Okay. My guests are not yet here. Let me see. And if they can join. Yeah, and we'll go from there. Okay. All right. So the original plan that I had was to go over a little bit the course of fire for the TRT Sniper Challenge that I participated in about, was it 2 weeks ago now? Just under 2 weeks. Not this previous weekend, the weekend before. I started shooting matches earlier this year. Okay, Hayden is here. Let me add him to the stage. There we go, there's Hayden. And I think Aaron is coming in a moment.
Yep.
I'm just kind of giving the background. So what was I saying? Yeah, so I started shooting matches this year, and I shot 3 Narrow Hunter matches, a local PRS match, another local, like just a simple local match, and I shot a team match under the Competition Dynamics banner, Burris Uplift Team Challenge back in Wyoming, which I really enjoyed. The Wyoming match is a team match. It's not quite a sniper match. It's a little bit different, but there's a good amount of overlap. A proper sniper match set up by people who work on proper snipers in the service was for me definitely a first of experience. And for Hayden, who just joined us, I think it was also your first time shooting a match that style, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So, and between another gentleman who I'm waiting for, here's Aaron. So he just sent me a message. Excellent, he's joining momentarily. And for Aaron and Hayden, it was also a new experience. But the difference is that they are pretty experienced competitors, primarily in a PRS style format with both, there's Aaron, with both centerfire and rimfire. Right, Mr. Aaron, can you hear us?
Yep, yes, I can.
Yeah. So for those of you who have been to my live streams before, you've seen Aaron. He's visited with me a couple of times. So there are a couple of things I would like to do today. One is I want to get their take on the match. I've talked about a little bit about a week ago, and I'll add some commentary as we go along. But what is very interesting to me is their take, because they are experienced at pretty good level PRS competitors, and this match was and is going to be next year something a bit different. There is, some obvious overlap, but it's not quite the same. So their take on it is interesting. They know the shot pretty well. I watched them shoot, but clearly they've had some difficulties there in aspects of the match shooting that they have just not seen before. And for me, this is very different because from the different matches that I've tried, the sniper stuff to me looks really interesting. I really found myself really enjoying the unknown distance stuff, and I'm curious about that. All right, Mr. Mushroom from Kazakhstan wants to know about Chinese Mu Light scopes. I'm afraid to say that I have never seen or heard of a Mu Light scope, so it's hard for me to say I know absolutely nothing about it. Mr. Northman from Canada is here. Okay, so people are filing in. So let's do this, guys. So before we get into the match per se, how about you introduce yourselves, give us a little bit of your background, and that'll give people a chance to join the stream, and then we'll talk about the match. So Aaron, since you've been here before, let's start with you.
Well, perfect. Yes, as Ilya said, I've been on the stream a couple of times. I am one of the founder and owners of Anarchy Outdoors. We manufacture and retail parts in the precision rifle world as well as the hunting world. Been a competitor in PRS and NRL style shooting since 2016. Yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Yeah.
Hey, Hayden.
So I'm Hayden. I am Aaron's brother-in-law, actually. We've been shooting PRS and NRL stuff for quite a few years, actually. Not good enough to be well known, but that's okay.
So let's do this just to sort of set the baseline on this for either one of you. Let's start with Aaron. If you go into lately, you've been shooting mostly rimfire matches, right? Is that accurate,
Yes,
Aaron?
yep, that is correct.
If you go to a national level rimfire match, what is the total number of competitors you would typically see in a national level rimfire match?
Typically, let's see, a national level. So there's a couple different ways to look at rimfire matches, right? There's a couple national level clubs throughout the country. The clubs that Hayden and I shoot in, they average between 40 and 80 shooters a month. Now, if you're going to what I would consider like a PRS finale or like an NRL X match, you could see upwards of 60 to 100 competitors.
Okay, let's say you're shooting an NRL X match with 80 competitors. If you shoot to your normal level, if you're not having an exceptional day, if you're not having a horrible day, out of these 80 people, where roughly will you end up at the end of the match?
In the top 25, probably.
Top 25. Hayden, how about you?
If I'm not having a bonehead day.
Yeah, just a normal day. You're not shooting lights out, but you're not having a horrible day either.
Top 35 probably.
Okay. All right. So that should, and the reason I asked is not to put you on the spot, but to kind of establish the level of competency, right? So I started shooting matches this year. I'm more familiar with the NRL Hunter stuff. Typical NRL Hunter match will have about 2-day match will have 120, 150 people somewhere there, and I'll be just out of the bottom third, right? So I'm not an especially good shot, getting better, but not an especially good shot. So our takes on this might be a little bit different because of that. And I think this baseline in that regard is important. So before we start talking about the course of fire and about the match per se. One of the things I do want to mention, so I picked up a couple of muzzle brakes from the price table at the TRT Sniper Challenge. And as is my tradition, I don't keep anything that I get off of the price table. And in about an hour or so, ballpark, I am going to raffle them off. In order to get into the raffle, you have to send me an email to raffle@darklordofoptics.com. You have to be a member of my locals community. You don't have to be a paying member. You can have a free membership. And I announced this about a week ago. And what I learned is that apparently people don't like muzzle brakes. So I got a grand total of 6 people who are interested in the Area 419 brake, and not a single person is apparently interested in the AudioWorks brake. That is kind of interesting. So you guys have about an hour, raffle at darklordofoptics.com. If you're interested in either one of them, you need to send me an email saying which one you're interested in and your username on my locals website, which is basically darklordofoptics.com. I'm gonna put an email into the chat box. If this is the first time you're hearing about this, you've got about an hour, thereabouts 45 minutes to send me an email, and then we'll do the draw. Okay, with that out of the way, so let's get some top level impressions of the match. Let's start with Hayden.
I absolutely love this match. It was a lot of fun. So when we shot it, so this was a 2-day match, and we shot both days on the same day. So it was a total of 16 stages. It was a really long day, but it was a ton of fun. It was really challenging. We were just looking at some of the scores. There were several stages that out of all of the shooters, there were like 2 or 4 impacts on the target. So it was tough.
Yeah, some of the stages, when I looked at what needs to be done and the part times, I thought that Tony, the guy who organized the match, lost his ever-loving mind. But Tony is a 2-decade special forces veteran, outdoorsman, in very good shape, runs it according to Aaron a 6-minute mile. So I didn't tell Tony what I thought about it. I told everyone else. Okay, so Aaron, what are your thoughts?
So, did you explain what the match was? The name of the match?
Not yet. We're going to get to that.
Okay, I won't.
I'm like kind of laying the background for it, right?
I enjoyed the match. I hurt my back 2 weeks before the match, and I don't know, we got to about stage 7, and I was in some severe pain. But we pushed through it. It was a very interesting take on a match, very different from anything I've shot before. But overall, I mean, I had a blast. I mean, a weekend shooting is better than a weekend working. So I had a good time, and I plan on attending it next year.
Yeah. Very good. A good take on it. So in terms of what the match was, again, sniper style matches are a little bit different. Most of the stages stylistically were closer to NRL Hunter than to the other stuff. They were not quite blind stages from where we were congregating and waiting. You can kind of see where stuff is, but you could not laze and figure out exactly where the plates are before you got to the stage. In most stages, you basically had to get up there, like in an NRL Hunter stage, it give you a rough idea which direction the plates are in and how many and what kind, and you get to go identify them, figure out the ballistic solution, and engage them in a particular way. The complications were that the part times were rough on most of them, not all, but on most of them. And there was a very strong emphasis between the 2 teammates. These are all 2-man teams. There were no individual competitors. There was a very, very strong emphasis on these 2 competitors communicating. And the part times were horrible if you're not communicating well, which for us was kind of interesting. They were not too bad for teams that communicated well. When I was shooting it, like I enjoyed it, but I timed out on everything. And to be fair, so my teammate and I, we were clearly not used to each other since until the start of this match. We had never seen each other, heard of each other. It was one of Aaron's friends. He brought him over to make my life interesting. And he did. A great guy. I really enjoyed it. Honestly, like I don't hugely care about points. I enjoyed the day with Calvin. So he came over. His rifle was not sighted in during the sighting period. We weren't able to sight it in. So right around the stage when Aaron's back went out, 7th stage. That's roughly when we finally figured out when his rifle was shooting. But I suspected these things would be different. What I did not appreciate is how much time you waste on trying to communicate. Okay, that was an absolute revelation for me. The good part about this match was that hiking between stages was not timed, right? Like in the Burris Optics team challenge that I shot in Wyoming, everything is timed, including the hiking. So for fat, lazy, and whiny people like me, that's a major detriment. In that regard, I enjoyed this one quite a bit more. Another thing that was probably new for you guys, I've seen this in the team challenge, but it's not something we do in NRL Hunter. There is a lot of stuff where both shooters are shooting different weapon types, and what one does depends on how successful the other one is, which adds, and we'll go over the course of fire in a little bit more detail, but that adds this additional aspect of pressure. When you're shooting alone, you're only letting yourself down, and when you're shooting with a teammate, you're also letting your teammate down, and it kind of eats at you a little bit as you go along. There are all these subtle little bits of pressure, and then there were the quirks. Again, as we talk about the course of fire, there were stages where you have to stand in a particular place and yell at each other from a distance as a means of communication. There was a stage where you really want to tell your teammate what to do, but it's a silent stage, no words to be used, right? So like you can pantomime this, make shapes out of your fingers if you want, but you can't say a word. And if you do, you'll get disqualified. There was a really interesting stage that really stressed your position building skills, and Aaron will definitely talk about that. He's very proud of that one. So it in terms of stressing a little bit of everything in terms of your capabilities as an overall shooter, I think this is the best match I've seen yet. Right? It stressed your ability to find targets, it stressed your ability to engage them rapidly, stressed your ability to work with your teammate. It stressed a little bit of everything, and it also, made you shoot your rifle. We had to have handguns. One stage had a provided carbine. I rode that stage on Sunday, and that was something different. Again, and with most of those, you kind of had a chance to think about it for a moment and see if there's a way to game it while staying within the rules and running the stage in a way that's advantageous for you. I thought it was challenging and really, really interesting. Does it all make sense, gentlemen?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yes, it does.
Excellent. So I see a few people joined. Mr. Rick Hamby is here. Thank you for your efforts. So I'm sorry about this whole stream business. I normally use Rumble Studio to stream so that it can go directly to YouTube X and to my locals page. And it just would not, and it was interesting. When you start that stream, it turns on this channel, this channel, this channel. And because Rumble is the base channel, Rumble is the part that crapped out. Everything else was connected, but because Rumble was not connected, it would not let me stream. I rebooted everything, tried everything. I said, screw this, and went on to StreamYard, made an account, gave them my credit card. And if I don't cancel it within a week, they'll charge me $90 a month. So, but on the positive side, we can stream. So I apologize about the delays. I'm doing the best I can. All right, Mr. Boom Country Hydrographics here. Good evening to you too, sir. So Aaron Hayden, let's do this. You want to take a stage and talk about it, and we'll just alternate and go through it?
Sure, sounds great.
Do you want to go you want to go from 1 to 16? Is that how you want to do it?
Could not care less. Start wherever you want, as long as we cover them all.
Okay.
Let's do this. Let's first talk about the stages that we rode, because we all rode on Saturday and Sunday, and I can talk about those stages the most because arguably where I learned a lot was from watching other people do it. right? Which was very helpful. Let's talk about those first.
Can we cover what the match was and what it was for, and then dive into
that's
the
actually
stages?
that's actually a good idea. That's a good idea. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I talked about it on Sunday. It didn't occur to me that I should probably do so today. Go for it. Stage is yours.
Yeah. So I have a good friend. His name is Tony Cowden. Sean Ryan calls him the real life John Wick. You can go check out that podcast on him. But he has he's spent a lot of time in special forces and GRS and ground branch with the CIA. Anyways, a very interesting dude. He has a not-for-profit called The Reason Outdoors. It's where they take veterans suffering. They take veterans who need some extra help with PTSD or TBI or different things, and they teach them how to hunt. Meaning, they don't just take them hunting. They will do fitness plans, how to skin the animal. They'll teach them marksmanship and how to use your rifle, different things like that. And they do a lot of hunts in the South, and they do a lot of hunts on the property in Montana where this sniper match was held. So that's what the match is about. The match is a fundraiser match to earn money or to raise money for the Reasons Outdoors. And we earned enough at the match that will keep them hunting with veterans through the end of the year. So it was really exciting, great cause. Ilya, Hayden, and I, we went up and we RO'd, meaning we were range officers on the days the competitors were shooting, and we shot the match the day before. We shot 16 stages in a day, which was rough. I think the most I've ever done in one day is 14. So this one was by far the most stages I've ever shot. So there's a little bit about the match. Ilya, take it away with the stages that you RO'd.
So before the RO part, so one of the things I did not understand before. Hey, how are you, Link? One of the things I did not understand is why they called that nonprofit the Reason Outdoors. So Tony is a partner with this charity, a gentleman whose name is apparently Ryan, but everybody calls him Coop.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it's going to kick my ass if I call him Ryan, so I have to do it online. And as Coop explained it, and I really did not comprehend it before, one of the reasons we lose so many veterans to suicide is that they tend to live in the past, right? So you live the war never leaves you. And the reason, I think, if I understand this correctly, they called the organization The Reason Outdoors is that it takes them away from gadgets, social media, and the madness of the modern world, and gives them the reason to look forward to something. And that approach to it, dragging them out of that sordid past and into some sort of a hope for the future, it appears to save lives. They've taken more than 100. They started about a year and a half ago. They've taken more than 100 people on all these different outdoor adventures. They have documented feedback from several that they were on the verge of kissing a shotgun, and this trip gave them a new meaning, a new way to look at the world, and hopefully perhaps save their lives. So it is a worthy cause. Aaron's company, Energy Outdoors, sponsored one of the stages. There were things from them on the price table. I pulled a few strings and got a few optics companies to provide some stuff. For the price table, I felt strongly about it. I brought one of the scopes I had around and put it the price table. I think Aaron walked away with it. So, and next year I'm gonna start early. I'm gonna get more companies in this. If in our sport there is a truly worthy cause, then this is it.
Yeah.
So
one last shameless plug. They're currently running another fundraiser on 9line Apparel. They've got a new shirt with a nice logo on it called Echo Therapy, which kind of plays into the whole Reason Outdoor. It's therapy outside. So go check it out.
Do you have a link you can put in the chat box?
I just tried to put a link in the chat box and it said it failed. So I will get the link as we talk.
See if I can find it real quick.
Okay, so one of you put it in, or if it doesn't work, I'm able to put links in. Just send it to me on WhatsApp and I'll copy it.
I threw it in the private chat, Ilya. That's
Okay.
the mission, and I'll go find the T-shirt at 9 line.
Okay. All right. Okay. So stages. So I wrote 2 stages. The way the match was divided, there were 10 stages on Saturday and 6 stages on Sunday. The arrows were spread a little bit thin. I arrowed stage 7 when I was there on Saturday, and there I was there the whole day alone, but that stage was not very hard to arrow alone. On Sunday, it was a more involved stage, but I had help, so because we didn't have as many stages, we could double up for all of them. So I'm gonna pull up a picture. I'm gonna show you what stage 7 looked like. We'll start with that one. And stage 7 was in many ways very much like a regular NRL Hunter stage, except the part time was. What's a good saying for this? Is ambitious a good way of saying this?
Optimistic, ambitious.
Yeah.
Stage 7.
Tony.
Yeah, but maybe optimistic, ambitious, something like that. Yeah. I'm looking for a good picture. I had a couple. There we go. So here's a picture. I'm going to put it on the screen. And again, I'm using a different streamer, so I'm not sure where everything is. Oh, there we go. Share. The file. There we go. Let's see if that comes up. Is it showing it or not? No, it's not. No.
No.
Oh, interesting. So how do I... Oh, there we go. I see it now. Okay. You see it now? So
Yep.
what you see on this stage, and you may not be able to see my mouse, the tripod you see on the left, that's where I set up my Leica binoculars that Aaron shamelessly stole from me but promised to return.
I think I'll ship them next week to you. We've looked through them, so.
Okay. So this was my observation stage. There are 2 tank traps on 2 sides of this massive looking tree. There are 2 plates out there. Let me see if I can give you a rough idea of where they were. Okay, so you should be able to see a small blue spot here, and another one top right. Let's see if it's visible. Okay, there we go. So there's one plate is here. It's about 430 yards, and another plate is here. It's at about 480 yards. You have 1 shot per plate, and you've got 4 minutes for both people to take a shot at each plate from 2 positions, so total up to 8 shots. What made this interesting is that the shooting positions are looking at the plates from a rather different angle than you see them than where you see them in the observation point. So your observation skills when you come up to the stage have to be really on the spot, because even if you find them from the observation spot, when you get to the shooting position, they look very different.
Yeah.
When we shot this thing on Friday, when Kelvin and I got to it, the way I tried to run when we were shooting, from a competition standpoint, shooting matches this year, I found that I'm weakest at 2 things, right? One is finding the targets, another one is getting into shooting position quickly. So in this match, my basic purpose was to find the targets efficiently and communicate to my teammate. I was able to find targets efficiently. Second part, not so much. But when I went to the tank trap, that's on the right side, it's on the other side of the tree. The way they set this up, like this one, the one that looks to be a little bit in the shadow, the way they set this thing up, you can see both plates from in there, but that requires faith and look in a direction that looks completely unnatural between the branches of the tree. You can see and shoot both of them. Mm-hmm. But it was weird. We timed out, etc. And then I watched a bunch of people shoot this thing. in a normal NRL hunter match, you get 2 shots per plate, so you get first and second attempt. But for a team, your part time is 6 minutes. Here, the part time was 4 minutes, but only 1 shot per plate. When Calvin and I was shooting it, I thought the part time was too ambitious. And then when I was rowing it, I think 3 teams cleaned it. How many teams did we have? We had about, what, 13, 14 teams?
27 showed up,
27 teams.
including us,
Right.
including all the ROs.
Okay, so out of 27 teams, I don't think any of the rows cleaned it, or I could be wrong.
I don't think so.
But of the teams that were competing, I think 3 teams cleaned it. One of them had like a minute left. And that's not the team that won the whole thing. They did okay, but they didn't win. So it's clearly doable. But it was a really interesting thing here, a really interesting lesson in landmarking. Looking at the land, looking at the landmarks, and then translating that in your mind to what they will look like from a completely different angle, because you are shooting from pretty far away compared to where you would be, where they mark the observation point. Okay. You guys remember this stage?
Yeah, it's painful.
I couldn't find the second target.
Like when I was observing, I found the second target. I got Calvin on them. I don't remember if he hit anything or not. And then I went to the other tank trap. And by the time I finally figured out which angle I was supposed to look at, we ran out of time.
Yeah.
From a shooting standpoint, this was not a hard stage. But from getting on target with a gun off of a tank trap, it was no picnic. No picnic at all.
I do remember this stage. I came off of it super angry because I made some mental mistakes because my back was starting to kill me at this point.
Yeah, you were bright red. You were resembling a red traffic light at that stage.
I was not happy because, again, you shoot. So I hurt my back last year, either late summer, early fall, and I shot a center fire match after I hurt my back, and I was talking to one of my friends who has like his spine looks like an S, so he shoots in pain every day, and he goes, "Aaron, calm down. Like, you're in pain. It's a different level of concentration when you're shooting in pain." He's like, "Don't judge your performance on what you have done in the past. You're in pain, and it's just not the same." So I remember that after I came off this stage, just pissed. but yeah. So this was not. You guys looks like you guys had 3 impacts, and Hayden and I had 0. So was not the highlight of our match.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's again, but all of our impacts were from on the one of the on the one of the tank traps. So watching people shoot, one of the things I learned there, and later I asked Tony, and he confirmed that's what he does. What the guys who were good, what most of them did, they went to the observation point for a moment to just kind of landmark more or less where to look for targets, and then they went straight to the shooting position and looked for targets. The teams who were good, most of them would go together to one of the shooting positions, usually with the one where you see those 2 guys over there, and they would be near each other so they could talk. They would be looking for those plates. They quickly figured out where the plates are. One guy the guy on the left in this case, would stay there to engage the plates. Another guy would grab his rifle, run to the other tank trap. And because the tank traps were closer to each other than to the observation point, once you found them from one tank trap, it was much easier to find them on the side off of the second tank trap.
Mm-hmm.
I shot 3 NRL hunter matches. It never even marginally occurred to me that you do not have to be looking for targets from exactly prescribed observation point, right? They say, oh, from this observation point, you'll see all plates. Yeah, but from the shooting position, you'll also see all plates. That's how you shoot. Okay. Never in my wildest dreams did something this simple occur to me. So that was actually a pretty important a lesson in many ways. It doesn't matter if I see them from the observation point. It really matters that I see them from where I'm shooting from. And if you've glassed them from the shooting position, it's going to be much easier to then find them in the rifle scope from that same position.
Yeah.
For me, in many ways, that was an absolute, for lack of a better term, revelation.
I would agree. I would agree. We learned that same thing.
Yeah.
Never really occurred to me. Okay, so let's see. I've got a couple of links from Aaron in the private chat. I'm gonna put them into a public chat. One is a link to the Reason Outdoors, and that just went out. And another one is the link to their new shirt. And when we're done here, I'm gonna go and pick one up. Again, I think it's a worthy charity. They're doing an amazing thing.
So,
and they're good people.
Question from Link Chen. Does good vision help with finding targets or most equipments? As someone who struggles with target acquisition, I think good vision helps, but it's conditioning your eyes to look for targets. And I've noticed over my 10-year shooting career is, especially as I started hunting with my business partners, be big game or ducks or whatever, is that my eyes have started to condition to looking for movement in animals and objects that don't belong. Now, good glass definitely helps, and one of my business partners can see things with his naked eyes that I cannot. Like, I struggle to see through binoculars. So yes, good vision does help, but it's also conditioning you and just looking around for things.
I got a thought on that too. So I think the way Tony had set up this match, every stage had a different color target. So being able to kind of differentiate the colors helped a lot. But if you depend so much on the optics, it can be, yes, you can get a much better view of what's actually in your field of view, but you have a much narrower focus that you can't necessarily see the whole hillside, right? So if you're looking for a deer on a hillside and you're zoomed in at 25x, you don't know where you are in relation to the deer. You can kind of lose yourself in there. So it's kind of a balance.
That's a great point. And when Hayden and I cover the stage that we are out on day one, I think we'll talk about that. Being a lot of the communication was too focused here instead of like, we'll talk about it a little bit more on our stage.
So to address this, in this stage, that they didn't hide the plates very much. They were not super hard to see. In the real hunter matches, generally, the plates are harder to find. The more the plates are hidden, the more you benefit from good optics. It's not a showstopper, but you benefit from good optics. I didn't bring my spotter with me. All of the glassing I did was with the 10 power Leica binocular. And from a standpoint of field of view and everything, honestly, it was a pretty good choice. Like, for being for arrowing in some situations, maybe a spotter would have been better. But as a competitor, I did not need a spotting scope here. High quality 10 power binocular did everything I needed to do. And for example, on this stage, I could see both targets from the same position with the field of view on binocular without having to shift. And I could see them well enough. Still, the most important thing is skill and familiarity. And what I mean by, give me a second. What I mean by familiarity is that the way human vision works, it's not the eyes per se, it's your brain. So I started hunting a few years ago, and a couple of times I was out there with guides, and some of them are older gentlemen. I know my vision is better than theirs. Not that I'm that young anymore, right? But they can spot game I cannot spot, right? They've been doing it for 50 years, and they're really, really good at it. They know what they're looking for, and their brains are extremely well conditioned to picking up these shapes of animals we're looking for, much more so than my brain is. It gets better with experience, but that's part of the skill. Another thing that I found is that we all get nervous, like when you hear the range officer say time starts now, you lose 50 IQ points. I think it's more like 80 in my case.
I was going to say it's more than that for me.
Yeah, but maybe you have more to lose. But it's it becomes an interesting thing. You glance, you don't see the target, and you start like randomly looking all over the place. But the guys who were good at this, I watched at how they glassed. They like it's almost like divided the hill they're looking at into quadrants, systematically scanned through. And as they scan through, even if they don't find the plates, they are picking up features. Okay, I'm looking at this, and communicating with the teammate, right? So where at this stage there was a rock face, and there were two hills, and it's like, okay, I'm looking at the first hill, nothing there. I'm looking at the second hill. There is a rock face going along. Okay, I see one at the top of the rock face toward the left. I see another one on the bottom of the rock face toward the right. So they had a very methodical way of analyzing the terrain and communicating. Okay, there is nothing there. There is something here. It was pretty impressive with the teams who did it well. It was pretty impressive. And just to give you an idea, right, we had two guys from SEAL Team 6. They did not win the match. They were very, very good shots. I wrote for them and watched them shoot. They were, I think, 10th or 11th, right? This type of a match. Pardon me?
I was going to pull up how those guys did.
They were good. Like
They were 11th,
they were,
yeah. They took 11th place.
11th, there you go. So that gives you some idea of how good the overall level of competition was. But also it gives you an idea of you can be an absolutely spectacular shot, and from just a shooting skill set, both of those guys were really good. When I wrote for them, and afterwards they went to just do some shooting. On a 900, one of them on a 950-yard targets was able to get 2 bullets in the air at the same time, both hit the plate. On few, they were just screwing around afterwards. But in this match, it stressed certain things that they don't do that much, and I think they both enjoyed the match and learned something. So it's kind of an interesting how there are many different aspects to this, and some of the best shooters in the world don't practice some of them, and then you go to a match like this and you go, oh shit. Learning these things during a match is rough. You kind of want to you take your licks and then go home and practice, if you can.
Yep.
All right, so that was stage 7. So the stage I wrote, stage 7, was sponsored by Area 419. I need to tell the guys from Area 419 that I did their sponsored stage proud. I gave every team a slightly different story, made fun of them, tried to disrupt them the best I can. And still nobody, despite occasional provocations, nobody shot me. So that was not bad.
You weren't trying hard enough.
I actually got all the Yelp reviews for you, Ilya. Everyone thought that you were the greatest from the feedback that I heard. They're all like, hey, did you guys meet that Russian RO? That dude's freaking hilarious.
I was bored, so I was having fun with myself.
We heard that over and over again as we walked around, so that was good times.
You were famous.
I really enjoyed myself. So.
Yeah, you were famous.
Yeah, only in my own mind. Well, and my mother's, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So on day 1, you guys were on stage 4. Who was it sponsored by? Remind me.
Oh yeah, sponsored by Anarchy Outdoors.
Exactly.
Deliberate Offset is the name of it, and I'll let Hayden explain the stage. It was good.
So on this stage, there was kind of a blind hill. There was a hill blocking where the shooting position was going to be, and on go, the shooter would take off to the right, the observer, his teammate, would take off to the left and go up to the observation point. And they were separated by, 20, 25 yards or so?
They were far enough apart that you had to yell at each other to hear.
We joked that this stage was going to be sponsored by a couples counselor afterwards, because it was definitely needed. But the way this stage was written, only the observer, whoever was in the observation position, could range targets. The shooter could just get on glass. They could look for targets, but they could not range it. And there were 2 targets. One was at 900 12 meters. The other was about 780.
Yes.
They were both in a draw, and it was very funny listening to the communication that was going on between the observer to the shooter. In several instances, the shooter found the targets first. The observer was still just scanning everywhere, just going right past the targets. And, in other ways, the observer found it first. And when they would try to describe it, they would pick the most random landmarks. So keep in mind, we're in Montana. It's high plains where they meet the mountains. And so there's trees everywhere. There's canyons. There's a bunch of grass fields. And people would be like, hey, you see the tree out there? Yeah, it's I don't know why you're not seeing it. It's by the tree. Like, dude, there are a million trees on this hillside that I'm looking at right now.
So one caveat to this stage, right, is the observer can only communicate with the shooter when they're in their positions, right? You can't walk over to the shooter can't walk over to the observer, so they're pinned in their boxes, right? And they've got to communicate back and forth. And then the other caveat is in the course of fire, it tells the shooters you engage left target, which is far, and then you engage right target, which is near. So they
near was still over 700. So
yes, it's still over 700, but it tells you which direction you find it in glass, right? So they had kind of some help in the way it was written, like find the far target in glass. It's to the right somewhere. So keep going, Hayden.
Yeah, so there's 2 targets, 2 positions, and there's 1 shot at each target. We had 1 team make it to the second shot from the second position. Like, granted, this part-time, we ran it at 4 minutes. Did we not, Aaron?
Yeah.
So our description actually is that we're reading right now is wrong.
So we have the
4 minutes.
We have the original course of fire, and they modified it after the RO shot it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel robbed. We had to do it in 3 minutes. No wonder we suck so bad.
Yeah, we totally.
They got.
So I have to bring in a little bit of a reality check. That's not the reason we suck so bad.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll get to the reason why.
Yeah, for some of us, the reason is genetic. But
we'll get to the reason why my team sucks so bad, and he's right here. But we'll do the lessons learned from the stage as well, because I learned a lot. But so they had 4 minutes on this stage.
The high score out of the 27 teams that shot was 3. The average was well less than 1.
And what was the maximum possible?
8.
And we had a total of 6 impacts out of 27 teams. So a very rough stage. Not the roughest, because there was a stage that only had 2 impacts. So not the roughest stage, but pretty rough.
Yeah, we'll get to that one later.
So
that stage where they only had 2 impacts, that hurt my feelings. I don't have many feelings, and they're all hurt.
I feel so good because I have one of those 2 impacts. But anyways, back to stage 4. Very interesting. We were talking. The question was, does good glass help you being able to see them? One thing I noticed with the communication is the observer would get so dialed in, and I was guilty of this. I did the same thing. So dialed in onto where the target is, they forget to lower the binos and look around and identify land masses or features or different things. So after I shot the stage, one of the guys ROing for the ROs came up and said, look, this is how you do this. Pick the largest, closest landmark and work from there, which was this huge clump of trees right at the base of the ridge we were sitting on. And then it's like follow the wash up around the fingers. Like, I learned so much after we shot it that I wouldn't say I'm good at it, but at least now I have a starting point. next time Hayden and I have to shoot a team match together.
Yeah.
I have a starting point of closest, biggest object, and then we're going to work out from there.
It was actually kind of funny because I was trying to explain this to my wife of, how difficult it is to describe where something is. And I was like, hey, just pick something. Like, how would you describe what you're seeing to me? And I'll try to guess it. And, it's a game with 20 questions almost. And it was rough. It did not go well.
We zeroed, I think, on that stage, if I remember correctly.
You were not alone.
Yeah, I know. And so I was the observer. Remember, my purpose for this match, I wanted to be able to find, the most important thing for me was to be able to find the target. So I let Kelvin shoot. We needed to figure out where his rifle is shooting anyway. It's important to know where your rifle is shooting at the match, right? So I was observing, and Kelvin is in a rifle. And I'm looking, it's okay, there is this gully, and there is a line of sage over there. I'm trying to describe all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we time out, I look at him and I realize he's not even looking in the direction where I'm looking.
Yeah.
Right? I'm on a binocular looking in the direction. He's looking 6 miles to the left at a milk farm in an adjacent county or something. Right? Oh, for the fuck. So the lesson I got out of this, other than figure out how to communicate properly, every once in a while you have to glance at your teammate and make sure you guys are looking in the same general direction. Because it was a 30-degree offset between where I was looking from the observation point and where he was looking when he was on the gun.
Yeah, so I ran the stage, the opposition side, and Hayden was always on the shooter side. They had to go up, what do you say, 8 feet? You got to go up 8 feet to the crest of the ridge. It kind of looks like a tumble down wall when you get up there. So you get up on top, and then there was 2 shooting positions that they had to pick one, and then they'd alternate on a pile of rocks. So they're uncomfortable. They're fighting with their tripods. The teams that had any impacts, I think the shooter and spotter found the targets at about the same time, if I remember right.
So
they were both glassing at the same time. They were both glassing.
Yeah. A couple of things to keep in mind. First of all, Dan's comment, trust Ilya to bring facts about sucking to the discussion. Keep in mind, guys, I don't suffer from any modesty, false modesty, real modesty, none of those. If I say that I sucked at this match, it hurts to say that, but I really, it kicked my ass. Okay.
Right. I mean, I feel the same way. I feel the same way.
It's called intellectual honesty, right? So I may not be a modest man, but I am an honest one. Going back a little bit to glass, right? So I shoot with very nice glass. I've got binoculars. I'm shooting with a tangent scope.
He had binoculars.
Yeah, they're nice binoculars. From the standpoint of seeing shit, they're nice. I know where you live, but I make a couple of calls. We come visit. We go away with 2 binoculars. But anyhow. One of the things about the rifle scope is that, first you have to find the stupid things in binoculars and then in the rifle scope. Wide field of view in a rifle scope matters, but no matter how wide the field of view is, with my tangent, I see things when it's on 10 power that other people need 16 to see, but I have wide field of view on 10 power. So it is the gear relatively helps me find things. That is Nucalus scopes with very wide angle. For what this match was, that wide field of view is an advantage to some degree, but on a higher power, I also struggle a little bit with a tremor because none of these positions are particularly steady. So I found that just dialing down and keeping my scope power relatively low and just trusting it that the image quality is going to be good enough for me to see it. There's nothing that I couldn't see with the freaking tangent on 9 or 10 power. That turned out to be very, very helpful for me. So the glass does help, but it's not a make it or break it kind of thing, right? If you are competent, it will help you. If you are me, it will not. Okay. So before we move on to other stages, before we go to the stages where I rode on Sunday, I'd like to quickly go over the other stages at the top of the hill, the first 10 stages.
Yeah.
One of the things we didn't talk about, and I just brought it up, is that so what we were all shooting. So I'm going to start since I started, and I'll let you guys talk about your setup, your rifles, and what you think was a good idea and where you may have gone wrong. So my plan was this year to shoot everything with the same basic setup. It didn't work out because of some technical issues. But I brought in what is sort of my baseline match rifle for this year. It's a Q fix and 6.5 Creedmoor, suppressed. I don't like brakes. I shoot with them when I need to, but I don't like the sound. And I had an Impact 4000 on my gun, never used it. I just did the ranging with the Leica binoculars. I had a triple pull bipod, which there were a couple of stages where it was generally useful, but in this case, it was not a huge deal. I used the Game Changer X shooting bag. The bag was very good, can't complain. This particular match was very tripod heavy. And because I flew to Montana, I made the mistake. I was not able to bring my heavy tripod. Turns out my big case that fits everything was in my office in Texas, not in my home in New Mexico. So I brought a relatively flip. The tripod was good for glassing. It was not steady enough for shooting to 900 plus yards. So that was kind of a mistake. As far as the gear goes, I think the only mistake I made was not finding a way to bring a heavy duty tripod. Short of that, I am pretty happy with my gear. Now, if you ask me now, what would be the ideal cartridge for a match like this? Most of this match was longer distances than I typically see in RL Hunter, stuff like that. 6.5 PRC would have been a better cartridge for it, probably. But the choice of the cartridge did not get in my way. There were no plates that I would say are not doable with the gear. They were absolutely doable. What screwed me over is time management, finding the plates, communicating the allocation, and building a shooting position quickly. That's what brought me down. Based on my experience with that, I see no compelling reason to change anything about my setup. My problems boil down to my skills, not to my gear. The gear is fine. All right, Mr. Aaron, what were you shooting? How did it work?
So I shot the rifle behind me. It is a lightweight 7 PRC. Thoroughly enjoyed the cartridge. It was, I thoroughly enjoyed the rifle. I had it in an MDT carbon chassis. It had a little too much flex in it for my liking. I swapped it out. Picked up this guy from Boone Hydrographics that was in the chat earlier. Picked it up like 2 days before the match. Threw it in, zeroed it up there. Great. I ran a Mark IV 8-32 on it, which I think will come off. I ran out of elevation on the bonus long range stage and had to hold. So I think the 5 to 25 Mark V I have would be a better option for this match. So that might come off. But I was running this rifle. I run a typical standard double pull SkyPod on all of my competition rifles for PRS, for NRL 22. I just find the double pull very versatile. I haven't decided to shell out the money for a triple pull. And then I use the OnePlus Game Changer by Armageddon Gear / JC Still. I've used it for a really long time. I would not carry that bag on this match next year. I will probably pick up a lightweight Game Changer X to carry. I have a lightweight Schmedium, but I like the bigger bag, if we're being honest, and that. So that's what I ran. I borrowed a Leo Photo inverted tripod. It was too big for one of the stages. It did not fit inside the sniper hide, which was unfortunate. It's just too tall. So next time I shoot the match, I will probably take that tripod right there. Or I may find a smaller inverted one. But yeah, that's what I took. So
Yeah, the small inverted ones exist. I actually have one from Subway. Thought it would have been just right, and another company that's about to introduce tripods just sent me theirs. I think it just arrived to my house, so I'll see it in a couple of days. But I don't know if I can talk about it yet. I don't think they've announced it yet. The industry is coming up with is paying a lot of attention to what tripods work, and the shooting tripods are just getting better and better.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Mr. Gun-toting Minnesotan is here. Good to see you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Hayden, what were you running, and how unhappy are you with it? Because we always know that when we miss, it's the gear, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's never the shooter.
yeah, I've never missed. My gear just sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I am running a Tika T3 in 6.5 Creedmoor. I was running suppressed. I had a Silencer Co. Omega 300 on there. It's currently sitting in a KRG X-Ray, like the old one.
OG, baby.
Old. It's old. And I was running a double pull Skypod, and I ran the OG, like the old canvas Game Changer, and yeah, another Sunway. No, it was a Leo Photo inverted tripod as well, and I really liked it. I'm also shooting a Leupold Mark 5 to 25.
Okay. So, what are you happy with your gear? Do you think something in this match required something else? If you were starting from scratch preparing for a match like this, would you have the same setup, or would you do something different?
Honestly, yeah, I'd probably have the same setup. I'm pretty comfortable with it. I think the only stages that the 6.5 Creedmoor, as far as the cartridge, we're kind of running out of gas. There was an ELR light stage and the bonus stage. The rest of them, I don't feel like the cartridge was limiting me at all. Like you kind of mentioned a little bit, we have done a lot more 22, just the rimfire games, and I haven't done much centerfire for a while. So that was kind of part of my deal. Another part of it was I was using borrowed rangefinders and did not realize they were in yards the whole time. And I was calling out.
Oh yeah, the whole match was in meters because snipers apparently operated meters.
And so that was just a total brain fart on my side, but it was great. It was a lot of fun. I would totally take that setup again, and I'd like to see how I can do better, this year versus next year.
So that's one of the great dynamics of it being a team match. There was 2 stages where you designated a shooter, and having 2 different calibers was I can see the advantage of shooting the same caliber because when you yell out your dope, it's the same. But shooting the 7 PRC gave us an edge in the longer stuff. Now I need to spend some more time with the caliber and the gun, but it allowed us to pick between the 2 rifles to use them to their best ability.
And then actually we did kind of game that a little bit on one of the stages that we both had the opportunity to shoot, and we both shot my gun just because we didn't want to put extra rounds through his on a medium distance target.
Yeah, so the rifle behind, so Hayden's rifle will take 12, 15 round string without heating up too bad. This one's got about 8 rounds you can put on it before it starts to open and string. So we used the 6.5 Creedmoor at a shorter distance. And we were also worried about, I'm not used to shooting magnums. This is my first Magnum cartridge. We had a carbon ring in it, and it was, I had to scrub it pretty heavy before the match. Didn't get it all the way out, so we were worried about the carbon ring building up too quickly on it. So we played the game. That being said, we shot 4 IPSCs at 100 yards with it as well. So we did a little bit of both, but
yeah.
Very cool. All right. Before we move on to the description of the other stages, guys, any questions? Anything that we mentioned that you want clarification on, please don't hesitate. Put it in the chat box. And this is not supposed to be a lecture. We're here to answer whatever questions may come up from this very, very entertaining match. And if, again, to reiterate, it's a worthy cause. And if you haven't caught on to it yet, we really had a blast at this match. It's already on my schedule for next year. And I already started harassing some optics companies and others, putting it on their calendar so that they participate, put something on the price table. Of all the matches I've seen, this was probably the best populated price table I've seen to date, and the next year is going to be better.
Yeah.
I would agree. I've seen some really killer tables, but they were put on by Hornady. You know what I mean? Like,
Especially considering how many shooters there were. I mean, I've seen comparable price tables, but there were over 100 shooters, and we had not even 60.
Yeah, I mean, most of the ROs were counted in those 27 teams. So, yeah.
I did not see anything from Tract.
Hmm?
One of the questions did Tract have stuff on the table?
Tract did not have stuff on the table. Trying to remember if I told them about this match or not.
We'll plan a little better for next year. We kind of shotgunned it from the hip.
Yeah. So I think about it. I did mention this thing to Tract, but as all of this happening, Tract's PR, etc., who they work with for that was changing like in real time. So I'll give them a pass on this one. With everybody else I reached out who did nothing, I know who you are.
Yeah, I mean it was a really good. It was a really good price table. Ilya took some pictures. They'll come out.
Yeah.
I'm trying hard not to use any of the pictures that he took because he's using them for something. Doesn't want them out yet. So I will.
I'm not gonna use all of them by this weekend. So the way it works, when I do an article for print media, those pictures can only be used in print media. They cannot be used anywhere else.
Right.
And instead of writing an article, I went on a work trip. I'm in Arizona right now.
Okay.
So this coming weekend, I'll finish my article. I'll choose which photos I use with it, and I'll pull them out of the album I shared, and then you can use the rest of them.
Yeah, perfect. So I've been waiting for that, right? Because I don't want to step on friend's toes. He's doing his thing. He took pictures. I left my phone in the truck the whole day, so I didn't take any pictures. But yeah, it was a great match. Really, really, really fun. So I did learn that we need, if we RO again, we need to shoot and verify dope on Thursday and then have some type of printer so we could print range cards. Because trying to use your Kestrel on the clock with 4 minutes, like, it was a disaster. Like, we need to know the dope well enough and have it printed out on cards. I watched one of the young ladies, a 16-year-old girl, shot the match. She would highlight the dope on her quarterback armband. And I was like, did I run an armband? Like, that'd be, like, sweet. So picked up a lot of things from the match, just watching the other competitors shoot. So.
Yeah, that was very similar to how the Hunter stage worked. If you're going to shoot an NRL Hunter match with me in the coming year, you'll have to do that. You basically need a binocular with a LRF to get either dope or ballistic solution, and either for backup or primary dope, you run an arm board. I had one, and I have a grease pen to write on it, and that's pretty much how you do it. You do not have time to mess with Kestrels, anything like that. Like you can have it set up if you're trying to get wind in real time, but honestly, you'll run out of time. You basically have to look at the wind markers and make some educated guesses.
I take it back. So I said that I wouldn't change anything on my dope. I was using an E-dope card, and I really like it. I love it a lot, actually. It works really, really well when you know the distances and you know the stage beforehand. Mm-hmm. I tried using it to have, my dope for 50-meter increments, and that did not work.
Well, that's interesting. That's a very good question. PRS style matches versus Hunter style matches. What's going to be the most popular?
They're different demographics.
Honestly, I really hope to see Hunter style matches just take off. I think they're more fun. Like,
I agree, but they're different. They're different demographic segments of the marketplace. A lot of your hardcore NRL hunters don't shoot PRS.
Not
NRL
anymore.
hunter
They
matches.
switch from PRS to NRL hunter.
Yeah, because that's their jam, right? That's what they
Yeah.
do. They hunt, and it's just tuning them up for hunting season, right? PRS is just it's a gear race, it's speed, it's consistency, it's a different game. You can carry a lot more. The hunter guys, they carry very minimum stuff, right? Because you've got to hike around with it, different things. Very different demographics. Same with rimfire. The guys that shoot a lot of rimfire don't typically shoot a ton of PRS centerfire stuff. And then if you're like me, I've been meaning to shoot an NRL Hunter match for the last 4 years, and I haven't been around to it. So,
Are you at all a Star Trek fan?
minimally.
Minimally, excellent. Familiar with the phrase "resistance is futile"?
Yes.
You're shooting a hunter match with me next year, even if I have to drive over to Utah and drag you out kicking and screaming.
You know what? There is the Hunter match in Price. That's one of the best ones put on.
Excellent. Let's do
And that range is fantastic. Usually it's in July, but I'll have to look. It's put on by a friend of ours, of Hayden and I's.
Yeah. Dan, I think in the chat put a very good point that I was kind of thinking about earlier is the location will impact a lot. I mean, the hunter matches seem to take up a lot more space.
Correct, yeah. I was going to talk about that. So at the national level for 2-day matches, I'll be honest with you, I have zero interest in the PRS style match. But PRS style matches are much easier to do locally. Like the 2 matches that near where I live that I can shoot when I'm not traveling are both PRS style matches. One was actually a PRS sanction match, but generally we have twice a month we have PRS style matches because you really most decent facilities with some distance can set up a PRS style match. You don't need that much. Getting a proper hunter match set up is rough, and not as many places. But it is growing. It's grown very rapidly. Go ahead.
The reason why is you have to try and keep the stages blind.
Correct. Yes.
Right, and it just requires space. It really does, and it requires hills and draws and trees because if you come to a flat range, so day 2 of this match was shot in a 110-yard arc. You could see every freaking target from the middle, right? We pulled some trucks up. We kind of pushed them back a little bit. Some of the targets were way out there, but some of them were like, oh, yeah, I see all the targets. Now what do I have to do in the 4 minutes? Oh, I got to range them, got to get up and down, look around. Like it wasn't day 1. They could hide the stages a little bit better.
Yeah, day 2 was more like a PRS match.
Yeah, day 2 was,
but with subquarks. But then they made other weapons,
match.
Introduced other weapons, did other.
Yeah.
But I mean, why would you shoot a PRS match? Why would I suggest Ilya to shoot a PRS match? It teaches you to build a position
very fast,
quickly. And that's all that matters, right? You can focus on the one skill set. You know the distances are known. You can write your dope down. It's building a position and moving, acquiring the target, building a position. You can work on that skill set in the PRS, right? And now I feel like I have a foundation where I can go to the hunter matches or I can go to sniper matches, and now I can work on the sniper elements. I know how to run a gun. I know how to move fast. I know how to get on target. I know how to drop rounds. Like now it's, okay, I need a dope card that has all my dope on it. I need to learn to talk to my shooting partner way better than I do. And on the stage that we RO'd, Tony literally said, my sniper buddy and I, we carry radios. I don't have to yell 30 feet. We carry radios. Hey, over here, right? Because he's like, in the actual Army sniper comps, one of you could be on the 5th floor, one of you could be on the 3rd floor, and you can't yell at that point, right? So he's like, we carry comms. That's a learning curve to carry a radio, like even 30 feet apart, right?
Never occurred to either one of us.
Yeah, it didn't occur.
No.
And Tony told me that after I was complaining about how shitty the stage was. But yeah, so PRS will give you a really, really good foundation. And the reason Hayden and I shoot the rimfire version of PRS is it's a lot cheaper. We literally could shoot a match every weekend. And trigger time on the gun is trigger time on the gun. It translates to rimfire, to centerfire, to hunter match. Now, there are things we have to work on for the hunter sniper type of match, but our foundation is solid. So now we just got to go learn those skills, right?
Yeah, I'm very much with it. My plan is to shoot my local matches, which are PRS style matches, as much as I can squeeze in, and that will give me the basic foundation. But what I was trying to say, maybe awkwardly, is that I'm not inclined to go try to travel for PRS style match. I'm not interested.
I'm not.
I'll travel for hunter
either.
match, and I try to set up so that like they coincide with my work trips, that kind of stuff. But for the PRS style stuff, yeah, I can do it around the house. I'm not gonna put too much effort into trying to get to those. I'm not in that race.
Yeah.
It's interesting saying that in Minnesota, there is a strong push toward hunter style matches. Very interesting.
Yeah, I also like Dan, right?
Mm-hmm.
The PRS clock, like especially if you're shooting 90-second stages, like it just trains your brain, right? I got to move fast, got to move fast. And now with the sniper style match, what I also learned from the match director Scott is it's a system. The way you drop your backpack, the way you hold your backpack, the way you deploy your tripod, the way you put your glass, like it's all a system, and they do it the same every single time.
Yeah, that's extremely structured.
Yeah, extremely structured because every second matters. And Iliad said it at the beginning, right? Tony runs up, marks his landmarks from the observation spot, runs over to his shooting position. Hayden and I were carrying really big backpacks. Next time, I'm going to go very minimalist because Tony was like, I don't take my backpack off unless I have to. Like, that's just wasting time dropping the backpack. So, backpack stays on. Tony loves to shoot off a tripod, which is why this match is heavy tripod. Tripod out, glass up, glass down, rifle up, shots down range. Like, it's a very, very methodical and it's a very systematic the way that the really good guys do it. And for Tony, these part times are normal. He's used to doing this. But for us that don't have a system, it was incredibly difficult.
Let's be fair too, Aaron. Half of your weight from your backpack came from your stupid shooting bag.
Yes. Lesson learned. Okay. I'm a big guy. I weigh 250 pounds. I can carry a big ass backpack. What I wasn't anticipating was hurting my back 2 weeks before, and I will not carry that freaking bag around anymore.
Yes, still a lightweight. But on the shooting bag, I do agree. So I really like the Game Changer X. Mine is about 10 pounds. And for a match like this, I'm probably going to get, they have different feels. I'm going to get one that's about 5 pounds.
Do you have the heavy one?
Yeah.
So I was on their website looking. I'm going to do probably the Specs Light one. It's 1.5 pounds.
I have a Specs Light mini Game Changer. It's not bad. I think for the longer distance stuff, they have a one that's about 4 or 5 pounds. I'm probably going to try that one.
I'm going to look. Party Mix?
It's something, I don't remember. There's one one was a little bit lighter.
Yeah, do that bag weighs 13 pounds. Party Mix weighs 10. Standard beads is 8.5.
I think I weighed mine at right around 10 pounds.
Okay, so you got the Party Mix, a mix of heavy fill and standard. I gotta weigh how much my bag weighs because I don't think it's 10 pounds. I didn't want to carry it.
I think it's over 10 pounds, dude.
I'm gonna weigh it. But it's freaking heavy. That's all I know.
But anyhow, so let's talk a little bit about the other stages. Let's see. Do you think Scott will object if I put this on the screen?
No, he's not going to object. They'll write a new course of fire for next year, and none of the distances are on there.
Yeah,
not a big deal. I mean, I asked him for a copy of it, and I told him we were going to do a live stream, and he sent it to me without any issues.
Maybe he misunderstood. Something was lost in translation.
He's not a Marine, so it's probably okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, it's probably okay.
Coop is the Marine. Scott is not.
Oh, Coop is
We're
okay. All right, let's see. This should get this. There we go. Okay. So I'll make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see, but the idea is not to test your reading comprehension. So the first stage.
Not well written.
Yeah, it's okay. So the first stage was kind of interesting. I actually have a picture that once we read this thing, I'm gonna pull this up. You start a little bit downhill, and then you run uphill, and there are three shooting positions. One is on the tire, and there are two tank traps. There is a target about 900 meters out. So what's it, about 980 yards, something like that. So it's not close. You have to find this stupid thing and shoot it from the three positions, one shot each. Part time is 2 minutes, and it's two people doing this. Okay. I don't know if they ran it at 2 minutes. 2 minutes was rough.
Do you know, did they up the time on this one?
I don't know.
I think they upped the time on every single one of them.
I think 4 minutes was the standard on most of them.
Yeah, I think they upped this one to at least 3. I think they added a minute to every single one of them.
Well, as they should. This in 2 minutes was.
I feel so much
rough.
better about our scores now.
Yeah. So this is. I'm gonna show you what that stage looked like. Hold on.
Was this the tank traps? Yeah, this had tank
traps. There
right?
was a tire and tank traps.
Because I put my back on the tank trap and it smushed it. Like it started to flatten. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Okay. So I'm gonna pull this out. I'm gonna share a different one. Hold on. There we go.
Next time I'll make a PowerPoint. Coursifier picture.
I don't have pictures from all of them.
I don't either.
Easy licking my wounds. So here are a couple of bozos who went on this stage first. Aaron is on the right and Hayden is on the left. And we went right after you.
Yeah.
So you start a little bit further downhill where you can see it, and you climb up. When I tried to do that, I immediately landed on my ass because it turns out the sling was extending down from my rifle, and on an upward slope, I managed to step on it. The only thing I remember as I was going down is that if I point the rifle at somebody, they might shoot back, so I pointed it off to the side. And then I got up, got on a freaking tire, and proceeded to miss everything. And that was the very first stage, so Calvin's gun was still shooting in some adjacent counties, so we fucked it up early. This was, in theory, a doable stage to get a couple of points, but it was a very first stage we shot, and I think we all screwed it up. Did you guys get anything on this one or not? I think you also timed out, right?
We actually have the second highest score on this one.
You do?
We got 4.
What is it?
4 impacts.
Yeah, three teams had 4 impacts, so I guess we're tied for first. But then only 4 other teams had impacts.
Yeah.
So what is that? 7 teams. So a third of us had impacts. Like
it was
even the guys that won the match didn't have any impacts. That's surprising.
Yeah.
This wasn't a terribly hard stage.
I had a hard time finding that freaking target.
And target acquisition was tough on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, we were just getting warmed up, so that was rough.
Yep.
Okay. So for the second one, you know what? I'm not going to put it up on the screen. If you guys have it, we can just describe it. This is a lot of words. So I don't want people.
Hayden and I have it, so we can just talk through it.
Perfect. Yeah. Second one was called "What a Drag" and was sponsored by somebody called Disavowed Group. I don't know who these guys are. So that was kind of interesting. There were 2 targets: shoot them far too near, shoot them off of the tripod. The way this thing worked, right? So both of you run up, and there was a little area designated as small orange flags. You dump all your gear in there. Then You run back. The first shooter grabs a dummy or whatever it was, drags it to 15 yards one way, 15 yards back, then runs to the shooting area, and you have to engage the target from the shooting area without anything sticking out. I think that was a little bit ambitious because even without the gear, all of me did not fit in that shooting area. I'm not entirely sure how that panned out, but since I think I missed everything, they didn't complain about my space management.
Yeah, this was one of the ones that we kind of gamed a little bit. This one, the targets, I can't remember the distances. They weren't terribly far, but we ended up setting up my rifle on the tripod where both he and I could shoot my rifle while the other person was dragging the tire. And that worked out pretty well for us.
Yeah, it's Hayden, I think, is an inch or two taller than me. So, and we've shot a lot together. Our rifles are set up very similar. We're very familiar with each other's stuff.
So let's see the next, and the part time here was 4 minutes, and that involves dragging the. What did we drag? The tire or the dummy? What did we drag?
We drag a tire.
Yeah.
So
looking at
the scores, the high score was 6.
9.
No, that's total number of possible points. No, you're right. 9. Yeah. So the high score was 9. Hayden and I shot a 2, and we were in the top 10 of the groups. So that tells you. Yeah. From number 1 had 9, and then we're number 8. We had 2 impacts. So
I think on this one we still had 0. I was trying to figure out where the stupid things are, and Calvin still had no idea where his rifle is shooting. But we were getting close. So the first few stages were zeroed because I was sitting on a glass primarily, and Calvin was trying to shoot. And I was trying to figure out where the hell it's landing so we could adjust his zeros. So that was our entertainment for the first 3 or 4 stages. So that was, interesting.
Then he finally listened. Pick a sagebrush at 100 yards and send it. It's not zeroed. I don't care. At least we'll see where it hits. Then we dial it over up and down, and he said another one. Like
you brought him. It was your job to discipline him.
Well, so just so you guys know, like the barreled action back there is what Calvin shot. It's the most accurate gun I've ever owned. We just didn't have a chance to zero it properly before we showed up.
Oh, it wasn't even his gun?
No, it's mine. It's like you can see it right there.
So it's your fault.
It's not my fault. Calvin's owned some of the best freaking rifles in the world, and he sold them all. Like, it's not my fault he doesn't currently have a bolt gun. So the guy's had every AI made. He's had custom guns, whatever. Like, he just buys and sells things like crazy. So it's like, not my fault. So...
All right, we just lost Mr. Guntote in Minnesota. Thanks, sir, for joining us. I do appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Stage 3 was called Violence and Silence, sponsored by Odinworks. A relatively simple stage in the grand scheme of things, in that it's just 2 positions and 2 targets. Part time was 3 minutes. You're shooting off of the top of the hill, so you have to lay down on these rocks. Almost lost a testicle on that one. I did make an impact. Finally, I stopped trying to get Calvin on a plate and actually shot a couple of them. But I think I did. I had something.
Yeah, you got one.
Yep, you got one.
There you go. But it was really interesting is that it's a standard 2x2 stage with an ambitious 3-minute part time, but this is the one where you cannot talk to your teammate, no verbal communication. And you really want to. And the RO, in this case, Scott, who is a nice, very well armed and highly trained man, standing right behind you enforcing the rules. I'm like, no, fuck.
Silently. You thought that silently.
No. I was talking to Scott the whole time, just not to my teammate.
Yeah, you can talk to Scott and yourself. You can't talk to your partner. So.
Yeah, he had an unusually high tolerance for my sense of humor. It's very strange. Something's wrong with that.
Hayden crushed this stage. If I remember right, out of the 7 impacts we had, I think you had 4.
I think you
of the
dropped
7.
one, and that was a dumb one.
Yeah, but again, we were the high score 7, and we tied 4 other teams for 7. So far we started off okay. Then we just died. But it is what it is.
Then things got it. But again, and the way this stage works, right? So you think of it as a sniper match. You're thinking, oh, you need to communicate with your teammate. No, you get in position, you shoot, and you move to the other position and you shoot, because it's not a hard stage to shoot. Just to shoot it as if you're alone. Never occurred to me, right? Remember, time starts now. My IQ drops from 150 to 70 immediately. Ridiculous.
That timer, man, it gets you. That timer gets you every time.
Yep. Stage 4 is deliberate offset, sponsored by Anarchy Outdoors. I think we've discussed that in a reasonable amount of detail. Stage 5 is called Tag Team. So, is that the one with those cow trap thingies?
The feeders.
Yeah, the feeders.
Oh god, yeah. I'll let you explain that one.
So on this stage, there were 2 halves of a cattle feeder. One was down at the base of a hill, I don't know, 20 yards away, maybe 10, 15 feet down the hill. And up on the top of the hill, there was the other half of the cattle feeder. And you just built a single position. You shot 1 round at a target that was not... It wasn't a terribly difficult target. It was at 335 meters. It was a 3rd IPSC. It was a lot of running. And so only one shooter was up on the shooting position at a time. The teammate was down below, and they literally had to tag team it. And so the one shooter would go up, take a shot, run back down the hill, and the other shooter would run up and take a shot.
And you could not share gear on this stage. So you had to shoot. You had to take your own shooting bag, and you use your own rifle.
Yeah, and you had to set everything off to the side too. You could not leave it in position for you when you come back next time.
So for me, what was interesting with this one, it looked like a perfectly normal, like barricade style stage.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a preconceived notion how I'm going to shoot it, and that's the types of things that I practiced. I've got a rifle, I've got a bag, I run up, I plop on my knees, plop a bag on this thing, plop my rifle on top of it and shoot. Except because we had such a downward incline and it's fairly wide metal thing, I couldn't get that angle.
Yeah.
So I started putzing around with my gear and predictably timed out, right? Just the simplest thing would have been I have a freaking triple pull, open display angle, pop it on there, lean over and shoot. The target wasn't that far away. Never even occurred to me.
Nope. Yep. I ended up laying on the cattle guard, but I didn't hit any targets. But I ended up again, you're used to like a short prop where you don't have to half lay on the stupid thing. So that one gave me a little spin as well. It took me a minute to figure out. Okay, double pull out. Bag up, okay, on the target, not on the target, playing with my Kestrel, just wasting time.
Yeah, I ended up pulling off my bipod, moving the bag forward, leaning over, finally got on target, and then I heard the beep. So.
Yeah. Just to put it into perspective too, the high score on this stage was 3 out of...
With a total of 7 impacts.
So,
dude, that's a rough stage, man.
They were all rough, and again, for us it was part-time 3 minutes. During the actual match, I think they bumped this one up to 4 because everybody screwed up.
Yeah,
I mean, just looking at the scores, you have a 3, a 1, a 1, and a 1. Like that's 7 points out of 27 teams.
Stage there, dude.
Oh, sorry, that's 4.
The high score was still.
Yeah, I mean,
there were several 3s.
Yeah, there was a bunch of 1s and 3s, but still not a high-scoring stage.
No.
And we sucked it bad. Bad memories. Next stage.
So stage 6 was called ELR Light. Very simple stage. 2 targets, 2 positions. You can bullshit all you want. Both are beyond 1,000 meters.
We call this the Hayden's the luckiest SOB stage. And I'll let him I'll let him explain why he's the luckiest SOB on this stage.
So, like I mentioned earlier, I forgot to make sure that my rangefinder was in meters, not yards. And somehow, I don't know how it worked out, my dope for the trajectory for that shot happened to be just wrong enough that my first round at 1,400 meters landed maybe 6 inches left of the plate, and I was able to correct and center punch the second one. So
with
any other distance, it wouldn't have worked. But it got us a point.
Yeah. Yes, it did.
Did I hit? I don't think I hit anything additional. Did I hit one?
No,
I think
you
I hit
got one.
one.
You guys have a point. Again, this is a very low scoring stage for everyone.
4 out of 16 available points.
I think the second target was 1,100 something yards. So
wow, that one had 16.
It was
possible,
yeah. It was only due to the first round impact. There's 8 engagements. But...
So one thing I did learn from this match is it would be interesting to use a weapon mounted rangefinder. But the other thing I noticed, I have a Cronus Athlon spotting scope that I put a Vortex Impact 4000 on top of. And the night before the match, I was able to sight it in, and we were able to hit out to 2,000 meters with it. And what I noticed, watching everyone range as the RO, how important it is to actually get an accurate range, because I ranged the target that we RO'd on. I ranged the targets, and I didn't hear a single person call the right range during the whole day. So these are really, I mean, they're not terribly small targets, but they're not big either. And they're at 1,400 meters, and you're on the clock, and you're ranging, because I think you even ranged them wrong, or maybe it was in yards, because you were like 1,300 or something. It's really hard. Like, clip them into your binos, you're still wiggling, breathing, trying to range. Like, it's really hard to get like a super accurate range.
Yeah, I got the right range on them, if I remember correctly, but I do range off of the tripod. It's binoculars, but it's off of the tripod.
Yeah.
And it's a nice binocular laser rangefinder.
I will have to buy a pair of binoculars that range before this.
For Hunter, yeah.
Before the next match. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's so. But this one was just like any normal Hunter stage, except further, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in a real Hunter, they don't usually put anything 1,400 yards out. So, do you remember the part time for this? I don't think it's in our course of fire.
Part time was probably 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, they probably gave us 3 and then bumped it up to 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next stage was stage 7, called On the Rocks. That's the one that I discussed with the 2 tank chaps. So this was interesting. So the part time that we had was 2.5 minutes. For the actual competition, Saturday, Sunday, they changed it to 4 minutes, because in 2.5 minutes nobody got anything. Just
man, that's all good.
It's okay. We were the crash test dummies for this. It's the first time they figured out a lot of part times based on how badly we all screwed up. So
yeah, I mean, if we had the normal part times, I think Hayden and I would have climbed up a couple more positions. Not a huge amount, but a couple more.
I think I would have figured out Calvin 0 like 2 stages earlier.
Yeah. That's a sore subject, because I told him how to figure it out, and he told me to pound sand. And I just walked away.
He didn't tell you to pound sand. He told you to fuck off. It's not the same.
It's like, I was just like, frickin' Calvin's forgotten everything he's ever learned about precision rifle. Like, bro.
No, guys, once we got it, Calvin can shoot. He made some nice impacts.
But it's like, bro, pick a target at 100 yards that you can see, pull the trigger. I'm not zeroed. It doesn't matter. You have a ruler in your scope. Like,
yeah. Next year.
Yeah. Oh well. Okay. I told Calvin he has to bring his own damn gun next year. I'm not supplying one. You can't blame it on the gun.
Yeah. So the next stage was about a 6-mile walk uphill in the snow. Stage 8 was called Defend Yourself. That was that rifle and handgun stage.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting. They had 4 pistol targets and 4 rifle targets, 100-ish or so yards away. The 2 teammates run up on to the tree, and what was interesting is that I seem to have misunderstood the instructions. So we decided Calvin is going to engage it first with the rifle, and I'll do the handgun. I don't know if he's a good handgun shot, but I think I'm probably better with that handgun than he is. So I hit my plates with the handgun from one side of the tree, and then I drop and decide to engage him with the rifle, and Tony starts yelling at me that I was doing something out of order. So I don't fully understand what I did. So how was that stage supposed to run?
I believe you were supposed to trade
Yeah,
tree.
you're supposed to trade sides of the tree. So
okay.
So we started. So we shot the match from like a plateau that had a ridge on one side, like a stony ridge on one side, and then where this stage was, it come off the other side and started down like a draw. So you went like 10 yards below the shooting position, and you're running up to the shooting position, kind of like stage stage 1. The hill wasn't as dramatic that you were climbing. So you come up to the tree. One shooter goes to one side of the tree. The other shooter goes to the other side of the tree. And then you engage the handgun targets, or there was 4 IPSCs at like 100 yards or so. I don't know. No dope needed for 7 PRC. We just smashed the crap out of them. So they're full size IPSCs. They were massive. So then you're supposed to shoot 4 handgun rounds from shooter 1. Shooter 2 then does 4 rifle rounds, and then you swap sides of the tree. Well,
they could go simultaneously though.
Yeah, you could go simultaneously, so it's do 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 do, and then swap do 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 do. But what Tony hadn't anticipated is PRS shooters such as myself, we go prone. If you tell me I can't, well, so I ran up and I smashed my freaking side of my head on the tree branch that Tony was expecting everyone to shoot off of. So it knocked my freaking ear protection off my head, and I was just pissed. I was in some serious pain. I was pissed, put my ear pro back on. I dropped down and just murdered those close targets. And then we timed out. But yeah, I mean, an interesting stage. Only 60 seconds, so it's you gotta move fast. Like, really.
But that stage actually, if I listened to the instructions, would have been doable, because I had, I was the pistol shooter, so we run up. I go on the left side of the tree, hammer the plates. They're not that far away, right? And then I thought I'm just supposed to shoot them with a rifle. So I drop down, get behind the rifle, start shooting. Realize that I'm pointing a loaded gun in my holster at Tony and Scott behind me. Pull the gun out, point it in the same direction. Learn that I'm doing the wrong thing. So as Tony tells me, "Oh, you're doing the wrong thing. That doesn't count." Scott says, "Thank you for not pointing a loaded gun at me." So priorities, right? Everybody has Tony is trying to run a match. Scott's trying to not get shot. I'm with Scott.
Yeah. Well, they hadn't anticipated that either, because they weren't expecting us to go prone.
Yeah, I told Tony, these are precision guys. Half of them are going to go prone, maybe more.
Yeah, you give me the option to go prone or modified prone, I'm going prone. It's the most stable shooting position there is.
Tony apparently thought that because all those rifle targets are not far away, everybody's just going to shoot them off of the branch or leaning against the tree. Again, never even occurred to me. I can go prone. I'm going prone.
I smashed my head on that stupid branch, and I was like, on the ground, and that didn't occur to me either. And Tony goes, "I didn't think anyone would shoot that prone. Why did you do that?" I'm a PRS shooter, Tony. It's prone. I don't shoot off a tripod every single second like you do.
I don't know. I went straight for holding up against the side of the tree.
Is that what you did with your rifle?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was sitting there looking at it. It's a man-sized target at 100 yards. I can hold it up against the side of the tree and just send it.
I probably would have done that, except for I literally racked myself in the face with the branch and was pissed off.
All right, from this point on, Hayden's nickname is going to be Tony Jr.
Tony Jr.
Hey.
I'll wear that with pride, right? Okay.
I'll try to live up to it.
Okay. Stage 9 was also out in the boonies over there. That was they built this kind of a sniper's hide, so we both have to fit in there. Again, it is not sized for gravitationally challenged humans like myself.
It was small.
It was
very
pretty
small.
tiny.
It's
So
where we found out that the inverted tripod is too tall.
yeah. So the way I was gear-wise, I was very well set up to shoot it, but we shot all of those stages as like with me on the glass and Calvin shooting first. This one you could not shoot together, so he timed out. I never got to shoot this one. I was actually set up well for it because with a triple pull bipod, what I did in order to fit, I just sat on my ass and set up the binoculars in front of me so I could find targets. Tell Calvin I found them, but he timed out. But shooting that for me would have actually been easy with a triple pull. Just move the binocular away, pop the rifle in front of me, and go. Like I didn't have to move at all to shoot, but I never got to try that one. And let's see. And
I tried to shoot that with a double pull, and it was not tall enough. The triple pull would have been the ticket.
Yeah, like I said, that's in terms of gear, I'm very happy with the triple pull. So. And then the last stage up on top of the hill, and that would have been the last stage of the day for a regular team shooting it on Saturday. It's called All Jammed Up. So they basically gave you 2 targets, and you cannot use electronics. So you have to mill them using your reticle, and you have 2 attempts to hit it, 2 points for first round. Excuse me. So 1 point for second round impact, and there's a whole this general area from which to shoot, and you can shoot from any 2 positions in that general area. As I recall, we timed out. Since it was the last, yeah. Go ahead.
It turns out that you only see the targets from the freaking left corner of the box. So
yeah, finding the targets on this one was rough.
Yeah,
and poor Hayden paid the price for it. Muzzle break to the face. I still feel bad about it.
His muzzle, that massive muzzle break, the one that's about 14 feet long that you can see right there, puts out a lot of gas to the side, and he was maybe 1 yard to the right. And
no, dude, I was like within 2 feet of you.
His muzzle was like right there. It was rough.
I said sorry before I pulled the trigger because I knew it was going to suck.
Didn't hear it. But I also didn't hear anything else after for a while.
Hey, that's when I said sorry, that was our only impact on that stage. I felt so bad, but sacrifices for the win, which we didn't do.
But we didn't get.
Worth it. Hey, the goal is no zeros, so I mean we didn't make the goal anyways, but
we didn't make that goal either. No,
but we tried.
Okay. All right, so before we move on to the remaining targets, let's do the quick raffle. So it's very interesting. So I guess nobody wants free muzzle breaks. I got 7 entries, so only 7 people are interested in muzzle breaks, which probably reinforces my point that everybody should shoot with a suppressor. And all 7 of these people are interested in the Area 419. Nobody cares about the OrdinaryWorks adjustable muzzle brake. So I've got a random number from a website called random.org. So I am going to ask you to pick a number between 1 and 7, and we'll see who wins it. And the winning number is 3, and that means that the person who gets this is a gentleman by the name of Eric Clem. All right, Eric Clem is about to get an email that he is getting a free Area 419 Hellfire Match muzzle brake.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Eric. He is one of the members in my locals community, and I do appreciate that. Thank you, Eric, if you are watching. Thank you very much for your support. I do appreciate it.
That's the match break too, right?
Correct.
That's their new their new 4-port. It's not new; it's been out for a couple of years, but
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I have the titanium brake from them that is similar design but a little bit smaller. It's and lighter, and it does keep the muzzle down remarkably well. Like in all my jokes about suppressors versus brake, I shoot with a suppressor because I don't like the muzzle blast. But if you're shooting something peppy and relatively light and you want to spot your own shots, you have to have a muzzle brake. And the Hellfire brakes from Area 419 do keep the muzzle down impressively well. All right, I need to make a very quick pit stop, so I'm going to mute myself. Would you guys mind going over stage 11?
Yeah, that's actually the one we RO'd, so that'll be perfect.
All right, let's do that then.
All right, Aaron, you take it away on this one.
Okay, stage 11. This one was fun. We rolled the pickup trucks up to kind of block the view of the stage because you could see everything. But we had 4 tripods set up and shooter box in the middle of the 2 tripods. So on the start signal, both shooters go into the box. The shooter that wasn't shooting would go to tripod 1, find the target. There was 4 targets. Each tripod was on. Each tripod with spotting scope was on a different target. Would go to tripod 1, find the target. No talking outside of the box. It has to go back in the box, get the person on it. The shooter would fire around, and then the spotter could leave, go to tripod 2, repeat. Then they would switch. Shooter 1 would shoot. Shooter 2 would then go to tripod 3, come back, tripod 4. A very, very interesting stage. There were 4 red targets. They were a mix of 600 to 680 meters.
They were mid distance. They weren't terribly far.
Yeah, they weren't terribly far. They were good size. You could see them all with the naked eye.
Yeah.
A lot of the shooters realized, oh, it's left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4, because the spotters were in order. I told Tony next year he needs to cross them so they're not in order. But the shooter shot it. I believe it was a relatively high scoring stage.
Yeah, except for us.
Except for us. So this ranch in Montana, we were there Thursday afternoon, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's like freaking clockwork. 2 o'clock, the wind turns on. Like it turns on.
Okay. And when he says turns on, that means when I'm shooting, he's standing off the tripod, it moves tripod and me.
Yeah.
All 300 pounds of me.
We're talking like 15, 20 mile an hour winds. So Hayden and I and Ilya and Calvin, we shot this. I think we started at 3:30 up on top. We shot from 3:30 to just before 6. And the wind was there. Like it was a real factor. So the other competitors didn't have to. They all shot it at 8 a.m. and by the time the wind started, they were done. But yeah, so our scores are a little lower. One, we still can't figure out how to communicate after 10 years, and 2, it's just is what it is. The wind was fun, but was a very interesting stage. Trying to keep the shooters from talking outside the box, trying to keep them in the box, seeing which ones work well as a team. But very good feedback from the shooters. They all seem to enjoy this stage compared to some of the other knuckle drag stages.
Look, I enjoyed all of the stages. I mean, the reason I enjoyed all of them may be masochism, but I did enjoy them.
Gotta love pain. But and I think they upped the part time on this one to 4 minutes.
Yeah, what did we have? I think we had like 3, right?
I think we had
3.
Yeah, we had 3, yeah.
So, again, kind of hunter style, first round impacts were worth 2. Second round impacts were worth 1. So, at least you got follow-up shots on these targets. And it was pretty good. We only saw a couple squads shoot the targets out of order. They're like, impact. I'm like,
nope.
We were told we couldn't say anything. Like, the target's red, it's over there, go. Like, that's all we were said. Like, shooter asked for time, sure, we give time. But they're like, am I on the target? Did I miss? Was it nothing? We were instructed not to tell them anything. So we just didn't call impacts. And they're like, impact, shoots it again. That's an impact. No, it's not, because you're on target 2, shooting target 3. So, anyways, it was a very good stage. I really liked it. The only feedback I had for Tony was it would be fun to swap the order so it's not completely left to right. So it's like left, right, middle, left, or something. But they'll figure it out. So it was fun.
I was chatting with Scott too. Next year he wants to have same number of targets you engage, but have some red herrings, have some 8 or 9 targets out there, and you don't know which one you're actually going to shoot at.
Right, from that spot, if you stuck your head between the trucks and you did some looking, you could see all the targets. Like they were medium distance, they were bright red. The other stage was bright white. Like you could see them. There was not really hiding.
The next stage that was bright white.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin still managed to shoot the wrong plate, so twice,
Wow.
and argued with me about it.
Calvin's IQ starts at like 70 and then loses 50 when the ball.
Oh, he's a smart guy.
Calvin's a sharp guy. He is flustered.
He's just wired.
Yeah, he lost his cool in the beginning when he couldn't quite get his rifle zeroed, and he was in and out the rest of the day. And I feel bad for the guy. On the other hand, it made it spectacularly entertaining for me, right? Because I don't care about points and I don't take any of this stuff personally. I had an absolute.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, look, there's 2 stage 12s.
And Calvin, if you are listening, don't take it personally. I had fun.
We love you, Calvin.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's stage 11. So go ahead and let's cover stage 12 and then stage 12.
Yeah. So stage 12 was one of the stages where only one person is shooting, right? So Calvin is shooting. I am glassing and trying to provide instructions. If you were listening to the previous 2 hours of this live stream, whenever I say I was providing instructions and Calvin was shooting, you know how that worked out. So there are 4 white targets, more or less in line. You can see them with the naked eye. You're supposed to shoot them far too near, right?
Yeah, it's like a troop line. They were stacked close enough together that if you were zoomed too far in, you could shoot them out of order for sure.
Yeah, which is exactly what we did. He did. So I'm glassing. I'm on a binocular. I laze them. I give him the distance. He looks at his phone because he didn't have an armboard. Figures out the distance and shoots him. Shoots the first one, fine. Shoots the second one, fine. Shoots the third one, misses in a follow-up. Shoots the previous one because I think his magnification was a little bit too high. So, but all in all, it was a stage designed for time. It's 90 seconds only. It's not a terribly difficult stage, but it really tests your discipline because it looks easy, but the wind is blowing. The terrain is complicated. It's kind of sits at there is a gully. There's sort of water, a river, something at the bottom of it. So the wind over there picks up, so it will move your bullet up a little bit. Like it's a very doable stage, but if you think it's easy in rush, it's not so easy.
Plus, I don't know if you covered this. You're shooting standing off a tripod, which is something that most of us, at least outside of the NRL hunter style, I don't know.
Yeah. No, in the hunter style, we do it all the time.
Yeah, and you had to be over the edge of the ridge, so you're kind of
downhill slope.
You're kind of on a downhill slope.
Yeah. No, but again, if you have the right tripod, and once you set it up, you don't need to move it around, right? You have 4 plates, and you can just hammer them in this.
I mean, that being said, Hayden absolutely murdered this stage. He cleaned it, so we picked up all the points. And did you change your dope at all? They were all close enough together.
I think I pulled a 10th out from.
So you're just moving down the plate a little bit. They were full size IPSCs.
Yeah, they were big plates.
Even then, and they were only 20 yards apart.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you didn't have to dial between them, right? The right way of doing this was to dial for the furthest one and then just hold progressively lower on the plate.
Yeah. Yeah. What was the distance was?
It was about 430, I think.
Yeah, it's inside of 500 meters.
Yeah, this was one of the shorter distance stages we had. But again, the part-time was fairly short, and the idea with this stage is that you look, oh, it's a piece of cake. It's still 500. It's still not that hard to miss if you do something stupid.
Did we really shoot it in 90 seconds? I don't remember that.
90 seconds was the part-time, but
Okay.
I think they made it longer for again. I think they pushed that to either 2.5 minutes.
It was fun. Hayden and I was one of the last stages we shot of the day, and last stage of the day, and we cleaned it. It kind of made the day worth it. Kind of made the day worth it. It was a good one.
Yeah.
So a lot of high scores on this stage. So looks like 10 teams had a clean. So it was some teams cleaned it, some teams didn't. So not bad.
And there were still, almost 10 teams that did not do well on it.
Yep.
And it was like Ilya said, it was close enough that you look at it, it's like, oh, that should be a cakewalk, and you do something.
But this 20 mile per hour gusty wind, and if you don't accommodate it, you don't accommodate it.
I mean, this felt like a PRS stage, because sometimes in PRS you'll get like a no dial stage. Okay, so I gave you the farthest target, but now no dial, right? So it felt very similar to it, which Hayden and I have shot a lot of. Was really fun. It was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now the airgun stage can kick rocks.
That was stage 13.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody's lucky number, not ours.
Thank you, Air Force, for providing the air rifle.
The air rifle was a ton of fun.
Yes.
Yeah, I shoot air rifles a lot. I appreciate that. So, in this one, the way this one works, they provide an air rifle sitting there on a tripod, and there is at 50 meters, or 50 yards, whichever one it was. There is a test your limits rack hangers. They're all painted a different color. So one teammate gets behind an air rifle and tries to hammer those tiny little things in 25 mile per hour crosswind. And the other teammate is sitting behind a pile of old dusty tires. And let's say your teammate hits a plate that's painted solid blue. So you have to go look out there, find a distant plate that's painted solid blue, figure out where it is, and shoot it. Right? And if you hit it, your teammate with the air rifle tries to hit another plate. So I think we zeroed out on this one because it took Calvin most of the time to hit something, and then the plate he hit resulted in an 1,143 yard solid blue plate in 25 mile per hour crosswind. I was this close, but I still missed it.
I was shooting the air
and then
gun.
we timed out.
I was shooting the air gun on this one, and how far was the air gun target? It was maybe 25 meters.
It was a 50 yard KYL.
50 yards. Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah,
I was
50
holding
meters or
2.5
something.
mils left on that air gun.
And this is impressive because Hayden, like a 50 meter KYL rack is part of every NRL 22 match you've ever shot. So it's something Hayden's very, very familiar with, and ends up holding 2.5 mils of wind at 50 yards.
But then again, when the real match came up, with the teams who shot that thing on Sunday morning with no wind, it would have been a gimme.
Yeah, totally was a gimme. And then because some of those targets were out there at 900 meters or 1,000 meters, so you're trying to you're trying to find the target, and one was white and blue, and one was blue, and one was pink and orange. I don't freaking know.
One was so what kicked us is I called out white and blue. I didn't realize there was one out there that was blue and white.
Yeah,
And
blue
I
on
called
top.
the wrong one.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting there thinking, I was like, shit.
So and I mean, in the wind, like a one shot on a target at 900 meters and 20 mile an hour winds is difficult. It just is. So
But
that
from
was a fun learning curve.
But I will say this, that from the standpoint of what skills this test, that was one of the better stages. Again, where you fucked it up royally, like most of them. But I like the fact that you have to do a lot of things on the clock, all on time. You have to really know what your teammate is shooting. For example, one of the things I didn't realize until, and I didn't fully understand what exactly we're doing. For us, it was for Calvin and I, it was the 16th stage of that day. Like I was, in my mind, I was already eating a ribeye steak somewhere. So,
brisket.
One of them. My focus was not quite what it should have been. What I didn't realize is that, like, they told us that all those KYL plates are painted a different color, and then you need to match the color. So when Kelvin was shooting them, I don't know what I was doing. I was just spaced out. Instead of looking at what types of targets are out there, trying to figure out where they are, I was kind of lounging. So totally screwed it up. But you have to be on top of your game. You have to pay attention. You have to be figuring out where the relevant plates aren't, taking notes while your teammate is trying to shoot the KYL, right? So.
Yep.
So then stage
14.
14, that's the one that I arrowed on Sunday. So that was a nice stage, other than Aaron breaking the rifle.
Leave it to Aaron.
So when we were shooting it, Aaron and Hayden was right before us. The way this stage worked, and I have a picture of this. So this is what it looked like. That's not us. That's two girls from northeastern Montana who almost made the match for us. They were good shooters, and just their parents were there. Just a charming family. Really liked them. So on the right, you see this. What is this wooden thing? It's not a barrel. What is it?
It's a spool, cable spool.
So what they do, they give you an AR-15, one of Tony's, allegedly sighted in.
Yeah, allegedly sighted in.
There are two red IPSC silhouettes at about 180 meters or so. One is pretty much a full size. One is like half size or third size, whatever. It's a lot smaller. So that's for the carbine shooter, the guy who's going to be shooting the AR-15. For the bolt gun shooter, way out at 877 meters, so about 958 yards, there is a red plate that the bolt gun can shoot. So the way this works, the AR-15 shooter, if he shoots the larger IPSC at a couple hundred yards, the bolt gun gets one shot at that 960-yard target. If the AR-15 shooter hits the small plate, then the bolt gun gets two attempts at the distant target. Okay. So when I wrote this was when we were shooting it. What was our part time? And it doesn't say here. Do you remember?
I don't remember the part time.
It was fast.
Yeah. So when for the
Actually,
match,
I don't remember if there was a part time.
I don't remember if there was.
There was a part time.
If you missed two carbine shots in a row, you were done. Yeah. Which I did because I'm dumb, but
yeah. So the part time when I was arrowing, it was 4 minutes, and nobody timed out. This was a stage where everybody had time. The interesting part is people shooting it, doing great, and Aaron comes up and destroys the zero on the AR-15. To this day, nobody knows how. So, and then he misses, but he, being a modest man that he is, assumes that he just screwed it up. And then I woke up and I also miss, and it's been a long time since I missed something that size from 200 yards with an AR-15. So we double checked, turns out the zero is screwed up. So we re-zeroed it and reshot it. When I arrowed it, nobody timed out. I think 3 or 4 teams cleaned it, but that was a little earlier in the day. Once the wind picked up, I don't think anybody cleaned it in the wind. But there were a couple of teams who got 7 points out of 8. No, not 7. Maximum, I think, was 12 points. I think I had a couple of people get 10 points in the wind, which was not easy. Like the way the terrain, the way the target was, it was not easy.
Yeah, two cleaned it, 4 got 10, 4 8s, 5 or 6 6s, 2s and 4s.
Now, with this one, it was only the rifle shooter impacts counted for points, correct?
Correct, yes.
Correct.
The carbine shooter did not get any points. The carbine shooter just determined what options the rifle shooter has.
Yeah, you're buying shots.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was the carbine shooter. I hammered those plates. There's nothing to it. And I think Kelvin connected 4 times, either 3 or 4 times. Again, it was toward the end of the day, and we actually knew where his rifle was shooting.
Yeah. You guys got 6 points on that one, so I can't remember.
3 times.
Yeah, so it was 2 rounds, 2 impact or 2 points per impact.
Yeah, correct. So, and I'll take that. So I didn't get to shoot. I didn't get to shoot the far target on that one, but I did my part with the AR-15. Okay. So almost there, guys. Stage 15, 1 for 1. Same basic idea, more or less, except one teammate is shooting a pistol at 25 meters and another one shooting a rifle at 368 meters. And you're basically alternating, and both pistol and rifle hits matter up to 10 points, and part time is 60 seconds. So what did I do? I think I was the pistol shooter. What did we get on that stage, if you guys are looking at practice?
Let's see.
I think I missed once, so I think I had 4 points of the pistol.
You guys have 2 points on that one.
Really? Okay, that must have timed out.
But I remember Calvin just about dumped his rifle on the tripod, and so he was fighting with that for a little while.
Okay, so that was probably it. Because you have to alternate. Then you have to alternate where one person shoots, the other waits. Then while the other one is trying to set up, the other waits. And we only had 60 seconds for this. Mm-hmm. So now remember, I made my 2 shots and then we timed out. So. And last but not least, stage 16. I'm gonna let Aaron talk about this one because you guys don't need to know how much I can say in how many languages and how bad my vocabulary is.
Okay, so stage 16. Let's see here. Okay, so stage 12, you had to pick a shooter. Stage 16, the other shooter who didn't shoot stage 12 has to shoot this stage. We hadn't shot stage 12 yet, and we selected me to shoot it. Because I kind of practice this every once in a while. So on stage 16, there was one target. There was 2 tires slid together with another tire dumped in the middle of them, and these are big tractor tires. There was 6 positions painted on them. You had to use 4 of the positions. First round impacts were worth 2. Second round impacts are worth 1. So the team will choose a shooter. The other will observe the shooter. On command, shooter will move from the start position to the shooting position, locate range target 1. Shooter will engage target 1 from 4 of the 6 positions of the blue paints on the tires. The shooter will have 5. So this is where the stage gets awesome and funky and dumb all at the same time. The shooter will have 5 seconds to place their rifle, build their position, and engage the target. As soon as your shooting bag, your knee, whatever, as soon as you engage any part of you on the prop, on the tires, the RO starts the counter. Okay. Let's see here. It's got 5 seconds to break the shot. If the shooter fails to break their shot in 5 seconds, they forfeit their second shot. And they
I know how that one works. The forfeiting part.
Yeah, the forfeiting part. So I'm trying to remember. I don't remember if I got 3 rounds or 4 rounds off. I had one. I got 4 rounds off. I got 4 rounds off and had 1 impact. Again, I was screwing around with my Kestrel yesterday, trying to figure out how windy it was because I impacted the target. And I think it was at 500 or 800 meters? I don't remember.
It was 800-ish. It was
800 meters. So I was screwing around with my Kestrel yesterday. I think it was roughly 18 to 20 mile an hour winds. I center hit it with 1.2 mils of left wind. So this stage is very interesting. I practice a drill that was taught to me by Morgan King. It's called the one-shot drill. There is a video of him explaining the drill and us running through it on Anarchy Outdoors' YouTube channel. But basically the premise is to be able to build a position as quick as you can and then take the time, slow down time when you trigger pull, right? So it's like build your position in 6 to 7 seconds and then do a 3-second trigger pull. And that's in practice, right? You're looking, depending on your skill set and your level, you're looking to be around 10 to 12 seconds and it's just one shot. We put a target at 400 yards. It's a 4-inch target, and it's build as fast as you can, slow down, pull the trigger, and it's break and build, break and build, break and build. So that's supposed to translate into a match. You're supposed to speed it up. You're supposed to be able to do it in roughly 6 to 7 seconds. So you're saving yourself, 6 to 7 seconds when it's go time, when the timer goes off. So I decided to give it a shot. I've done it before. I thought I could pull it off. I was able to crack a couple rounds, get the wind call. I was able to hit a target. I did send one. I did send a round in order to secure the second shot. With the target in the sight of my scope, but not 100% on the target. So I burned. It's the term typically we call is burning. I burned a round so I could have my second shot. Probably one of the most impressive shots I've ever made.
And you almost didn't get a point for it.
What?
You almost didn't get a point for it. The guy who was ROing and spotting happened to be looking down at that moment. And I turned around and told him that was an impact. And he said, totally, yeah.
Our RO he's never done anything like this before. And the RO who was experienced walked the right way. He was looking at his thing. But the most impressive shot I've ever done, right? It's a 5-second build of the position. And it was 1.2 mils of wind. And I sent the round within 5 seconds. Probably the most impressive shot I've ever made. The second most impressive one I've ever made is off of a modified prone position. I had a first round impact at a match on a 1,000-yard target in 40-mile-an-hour winds, which was 4.5 mils of wind. So those are two of the shots I'm most proud about. But it was fast. And I'll let Hayden didn't shoot it, but Ilya can talk on how fast 5 seconds is.
Їбать, з боку бантик, щоб воно все горіло.
Not to burst your bubble, Aaron.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was thinking out loud.
Not to burst your bubble, Aaron, but he was not using a stopwatch for the 5 seconds. It was kind of a 1.
Yeah, I know, but it was still freaking fast.
It was still
fast. For me, it's too fast. I'm not good enough in building shooting position that fast.
There was two people that did it. So
out of 27 shooters, there were 2 impacts on that play at the end of the day.
It's something not a lot of people practice. And again, I have never practiced it in under 5 seconds, right? I just was like, screw it, let's go for it.
So I picked up the idea of this drill from Aaron a few months ago, so I do practice it occasionally, and it's gotten a lot better compared to where I started, but not good enough for this amount of time pressure. And I got a couple of rounds off. I didn't hit anything.
And honestly, like the barricade itself is a big part of it. Like if you're shooting a 5 seconds off of a tank trap tip, that's totally different than dropping to a knee and shooting off a wobbly tire.
Yeah, because I hit it on my last round. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Second to last.
Second. Because I remember I dropped onto that tire. The round I burned, I dropped onto the tire, and I had my bag flat like you typically do it, and my barrel was actually resting on the tire, and my gun was up above. My gun wasn't laying on my back. My gun was up above, which as soon as I realized that, I did this ethically and I did it safely. The target was in my scope, and I landed just by the target. I burned the round, and then I broke position, and we redid it again, and I turned my bag up on its end. So when I came down, my gun was fully supported by the bag, and it was off the front of the barrel was off the prop.
Yeah. So for that weapon, because the tires were not flat, they were angled like this.
Yeah.
The spot the paint is toward the back, and I did not notice how far angled this. I plopped down. I could see the target, but my barrel was obstructed by the tires. So thankfully, Calvin told me that, so I didn't pull the trigger. It was an adjustment, and there are certain things I just wasn't looking for. But it's this was the last stage. We'll talk a little bit about the bonus stage in a moment. But one of the things, for those of you guys who suffered through this whole discussion for 2 hours and 20 minutes now, one of the things that I really wanted to get through is how thoroughly this match kicked our butts, or the other way of looking at it is how thoroughly tested almost everything you need as a precision rifleman. If you have all of the skills required to shoot this style match well, you're a serious rifleman.
Mhm.
And you guys did much better than we did, but none of us are quite there, right? And to be fair, even the team that won, they shot really well. They had a couple of zero stages, I think.
Mhm.
Right? It was that rough of a match. It wasn't like many of the existing stages now, where like you have this narrowly defined set of skills you're really good at, and you just go hammer everything. That is not good enough for this style of a match. You have to be good at a lot of different things. It was very challenging and very enjoyable, I have to admit.
Yep. Definitely a
So,
repeat match.
yeah.
That'll be fun.
So we should be wrapping up. But normally I try to do this in a couple hours. This ran for a while, and for you guys it's even later than for me. It's 9:45. For you guys it's almost 11. So there was a bonus stage there. There was a plate at about 1,800 meters, about 2,000 yards, and you got one free shot at it. And beyond that, you paid $20 per shot, and it all went to the charity. So to the reason outdoors. If you whoever got to hit that plate in the fewest number of shots won a Zeiss S3 6036 rifle scope. So I got close to it, but not quite. Had a lot of fun. It's the furthest I've ever shot with a 6.5 Creed.
Oh, you danced around that target,
Yeah.
man! I was hoping you would hit it.
It was so close, but it's okay. I've had my fun. Two people hit it on the third shot. One was a sniper from the Montana National Guard, and the other was a 16-year-old girl from northeastern Montana. So,
and to be fair, too, the sniper guy was shooting a 300 PRC. 16-year-old girl was shooting a 25-260 AI.
Yep.
So they had a shoot off at the end after all the stages were done. You guys were setting it up. I was busy babysitting a couple of SEALs. Not so much babysitting. They wanted to shoot, and they were doing it on the stage where I was arrowing. So I kept an eye on them for a little bit, but
okay.
Then Tony told me I don't have to babysit them, so I went to watch. So I was only there for the actual shooting part.
Okay.
Can you explain how that stage was set up? Because you guys were doing it.
Yeah. So what Tony did is he sent the ranch hand who was helping us downrange. He painted stage 11
after the shooting was done on that side.
After the shooting was done, yes. He was not dodging bullets.
Oh, sorry. Yes, the shooting was done. We were gathering everybody. The Navy guys were shooting on a different side in a different direction.
Yeah, we were shooting in a different direction.
Anyways, he went downrange. He painted the 4 targets from the previous stage, and then they included the 4 targets from the we'll call it the troop line. Yeah, so 11 and 12. They combined the 2, so there was a total of 8 targets. Tony gave them designated his and hers shooting spots that he delineated with those orange markers you use for snow plows. And then he delineated a pole that they'd run back to. So they started all gear in hand. They ran up to their designated shooting spot, ranged the targets, which I found very interesting because she ranged the first 4 and highlighted them on her dope card. And then she engaged the first target, and he engaged the first target. And then once you hit the first target, so 8 targets, 12 rounds. Whoever gets the farthest, the fastest wins, or if you run out of rounds, right? Whoever has the most impacts. So once they've ranged and engaged the first target with an impact, they run back 10 yards and then run back and they engage the second target. Yeah, it might have been 5 yards. Anyway, the whole point is they're having to break position, so they're moving back and forth, right? You have to reacquire the target, you have to rebuild your position, all of that, right? So it went really well. They were going back and forth. They were shooting. She's the lady that won it. The 16-year-old girl won it. She beat the Montana sniper, and I was spotting. You were spotting for the guy. I was spotting for her.
Yeah.
And I've shot enough in PRS. You can tell when they've gotten nervous enough that they're just
pulling the trigger.
They're just pulling the trigger, right? We had a friend back in the day when I first started. His name was Chris. The moniker was, that guy can miss as fast as anybody, right? Like, just the dude could drop.
He missed faster than he could hit.
Yeah, he was super good at missing fast. So on her like fourth or fifth shot, I just looked at her and I said, "Calm down, breathe." He's rattled because he's starting to do the same thing she was doing, just starting to pop rounds as fast as he could, instead of watching his impacts, breathing, and correcting for wind. And I just told her, "Calm down. You've got this. You've already beat him. He's fried. He's starting to send rounds, uncontrolled rounds." So she calmed down, and she ended up with 5 impacts. She actually had him beat at 4, but we didn't tell her. We made her run and shoot her last couple shots.
I don't think our guy ever left the third target.
Yeah, he had 2 impacts. Anyways, the whole point is he was still shooting, or he had finished shooting, and she was engaging the 4th target. And everyone's like, "You've won." And I was like, "Be quiet, just run." So we made her run back and forth a couple times. Anyway, she ended up beating him 5 impacts to
But it's like it's a nice thing to watch kids. By the time they start shooting, I finally walked over. She's running back and forth, giggling and smiling and happy and having a blast. It was just so nice to see.
Yeah,
she was happy.
We got her calmed down a little bit, and then she like tripped or something. She had like this worm flop into her gun, and everyone was like, "Only a 16-year-old girl could recover from that." Like, literally,
if I did that, you'd need an ambulance.
She literally like fell and slid right into her gun. I was like, "That's." I mean, I've jumped like that before, but nothing like that. She was slid right.
Yeah, but did you get up after that?
I don't know.
We're not going to talk about it. Okay, yeah.
Right, I do want to give the National Guard guys some props.
Yeah.
So these targets were maybe 400 yards ish, maybe 500.
No, they were out at 600 meters.
Either way, he was shooting a hunting style 300 PRC with a suppressor. Like, I guarantee he was not able to watch his impacts.
Oh yeah, I mean, kudos to him.
So he had no idea where he was missing, and B, his gun was getting hot.
She had a
carbon barrel too.
She had a PRS style gun, and she shoots PRS, and she worked him over.
Well, she was good.
Recoil management wins.
I don't want to discredit that at all. She was very good.
No, she's very good. Recoil management though, 25-260 with what she was shooting, the game is all about being able to spot your misses and correct, right? That's the whole.
Correct. When you're shooting alone, yes, but when you're shooting as a team, it's different.
Yeah.
So the guy from Montana National Guard, I watched him shoot. He was a very, very competent shot. He knew what he was doing, but his rifle was set up for having a teammate watching, spotting for you, not for spotting your own shots.
Yep.
Especially up close. I mean, he did fine, obviously, on the 1827 meter.
Yeah, but that's like 4 second, 5
right, exactly.
4 to 6 second flight time.
He was
got a ton of time to get back on target.
He was able to get back on target and watch with seconds to spare before his round got there.
Now, let's be honest, 300 PRC is built for that 1,800 yard shot. It's such a killer round.
That does it. Next time I'm doing it with a subsonic blackout.
Subsonic 6.8 blackout
and do it.
8.6, yeah, absolutely. So it's you just aim at 45 degrees up, lob it over and watch. You have 20 minutes until it gets.
Just put a balloon on the target, so if the balloon pops, we know you hit it like that 1,000-yard Jerry Michalek shot.
Yeah, stuff like that. Okay. But anyhow, so that's it for the 16 stages we shot. Again, if this didn't come through well enough, we had a blast. It was an awesome match. I'm coming back next year. I think you guys are as well.
Yep.
We'll start talking about it and advertising it earlier.
As soon as Tony has dates, as soon as we've got dates, we'll book accommodations.
Okay. So, and as soon as he has dates, we'll book accommodations, and I'm gonna start looking for a teammate. Not that I don't trust Aaron to bring me one, but maybe I should
Should probably bring
Put
you
a little bit more, put a little bit more thought into it.
I'm trying to convince my buddy Chris to come, but his expertise are in the rimfire game, not in the centerfire game. I mean, he has a centerfire rifle, but
I don't know. That 6-dash is going to start falling apart.
yeah, that's probably rusty, bro. Probably needs to get it out and give her some
Not even
love.
that. Like, get past 1300.
Well, he sounds like a perfect teammate for Calvin, but
I wouldn't. No. Chris knows what he's doing. Like, he just needs to play with a centerfire gun for a little bit.
okay, very good. I don't know. We'll see. I've got a friend of my best friend in California. I'm trying to get him to start shooting matches.
When you asked Hayden and I where we rank in the rimfire comps, Chris is usually in the top 4 or 5. Like,
Okay, so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
Chris is very good.
yeah.
If he's a double digit in the placement, he had a bad day.
Okay, that's very impressive. Well, we'll see. When once the dates are announced, we'll figure out the best way to go about this. But again, the match is a blast. It is arguably, from what I've seen, the best match to prepare you to be a real precision shooter, not a gamer, a precision rifleman.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'd say it's fantastic for hunting too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're hunting
for
out with a buddy, like you got somebody who can watch your impacts or get you on a target, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was very, very good. Okay, it's been 2.5 hours. Aaron, Hayden, thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it. You stayed up late. We went over the stages. Again, the match was a blast. I'm going to crawl back into my lair, leak my wounds, and strategize for next year. And for those of you watching this, if you're watching this in real time, if any questions come up, anything that we did not cover, please put in the comments. If it's for Hayden and Aaron, I'll make sure they get to it and we'll get everything answered. Thank you all, and have a good night.
Thank you. We appreciate it, Ilya.
See ya.
Okay, good night, John.